Oh my god. That was my armband that went flying. Hello, my name is Indy and today I'm here with my Booktube-a-thon wrap-up for this year. And I'm going to be telling you all about the books I've read and giving you like a little sort of review on them, but like non-spoilery reviews of course. And just talking about how I went with everything. If you haven't seen my vlog week video, I will be linking that down below so you can go and check that out. It's just a week of all these lovely, delicious, me-looking vlogs of how I went with my reading progress and my feels and thoughts on a few books that I was reading. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out down below. Alright, so in the week of Booktube-a-thon, I've read a total of 3.5 books. I got about halfway through The Maze Runner, but I read Confess by Colleen Hoover, You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan, and Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. And I read, as I said, half of The Maze Runner by James Dashner. I feel alright about my efforts this year. I feel like I definitely was gonna beat last year, and then I realized no, because I read 4 books last year, like 4 proper books. This one's like a so-so book because it's only like 130 pages. But my feelings is that I just did okay. I definitely thought that my dedication wasn't fully there. I did watch a lot of TV and just sort of slack off a bit here and there, and so I definitely could have tried harder. So hopefully next year, if I get to do Booktube-a-thon again in the actual proper week, that I can redeem myself, because I feel like I didn't do too well this year. But you know, I'm also proud that I got to read, you know, 3.5 books in 1 week, because I really needed to do some serious reading and catch up, so that definitely helped me along the way. And also I want to do a few readathons for the rest of the year, but I'm going to do a video on a few of the readathons that I'm going to be doing later on this year. Alright, so the first book that I read in the week, of course I said, was Confess by Colleen Hoover. Auburn, she is just about to turn 21 and she's moved to Dallas from Portland, and she's really sort of starting a new life here. But she meets a guy named Owen who is an artist, and things get cray from there. He has a deep dark secret that he's keeping from her, but shit is just cray in this book. I really enjoyed this one. It was such a good one to kick off the week. I have done a book review for this one, so that'll be coming up very soon, I hope. But I really loved this book so much. I gushed about it in my vlog. It was just a good feeling book, but also just her heartbreaking classic coho. I love her so much, and I think about this one all the time, like still daily, because it's just such a beautiful book, and the story, and it was, I want to go back and read it again, honestly. That, or I actually just want to go and read some more Colleen Hoover books, because I have, I think, another 1 or 2 on my shelf that I haven't read, but I just want to reread all her books because they're so amazing. And that's coming from me, a non-contemporary buff. The next book I read was You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. One of my best friends has also read this, so I need to have a massive discussion with her about it, because we had very differing opinions on this. This is another modern set book in San Francisco. We are following in alternating chapters between Mark and Kate. Kate has been in love with this girl, her best friend's cousin, for as long as she can remember, and it's time to finally meet her. And Mark, our other character, is in love with his best friend Ryan, but Ryan may not feel the same way. So it was a very complicated, quite a sad, beautiful story, and one of my first LGBTQ reads. Literally every character was some form of LGBTQ, which was really interesting because I haven't read a specific book like this before. I really enjoyed it. It was sad but happy, all these wonderful feelings at the same time, and I was really satisfied with this book. It was great. I enjoyed it as much as I could. The next book I read for Booktube-a-thon, book 3, was Sex Criminals, a graphic novel, which was by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. This one follows the story of Susie and John, and they basically both have special abilities. When they both get in the mood, and when especially they come together, they can both stop time, and they decide, for actually good reason, to rob a bank for the monies. This one I did enjoy. It was like a little weird. It wasn't too much in the graphic imagery in this book, so that was probably a good thing. I don't know if it's gonna get better or worse here. We don't really know. I liked it. I found it also confusing, but I also really enjoyed the fact that it swapped between the current storyline and then going back in time to how they both found out about their special ability. The storyline itself was a little weird. Here and there, I was just a bit like, what is happening? But at the same time, I kind of liked it, but it was really strange. But I'm interested to see where we go from this first one in the next 2 novels, because I will be reading them because I have them, so I might as well. Don't really know. It's gonna be a mystery. It's gonna be a mystery. And the fourth and final book that I got halfway through was The Maze Runner by James Dashner. It's the first book in the series, and then the movie, as you probably know. This one I did enjoy. I actually finished it today. It took me so freaking long to get through it. I was in like a bit of a slump after the readathon. I did enjoy this one. It was very different from the movie because I also did watch the movie while trying to read this. Like I watched up to where I got up to in the reading and then like stopped, and I actually quite enjoyed it. The use of the language of like Shank and Greenie and stuff was like a bit much, and like I don't know why they developed the language. The Grievers were really, I think they had a similar concept, but they also like were roly-poly things. The concept of getting out, like going through the Griever hole and through this like, this nothingness was so different from the movie. I really do like the movie, but this is the first book that I've read that's actually, like I've watched the movie first and then read the book. So I kind of like the movie better, but I really did enjoy this because it was different. Like I could separate the two and be like, oh yeah, the movie's really good, but this is also really good, even though they're both the same story, but also not really. But I kind of enjoyed both just as much, and this one wasn't too bad. For this one, I use as rule 4, which is read a book by your favorite author, and also rule 3, which is choose a book that you found out about on Booktube. This I used for rule 1, which was read a book with yellow on the cover, so I did. And this one was rule 2, which was read a book after sunset, which I half-heartedly did that rule. This one was for rule 6, which was read a book and watch a movie adaptation of it. So overall, I think I just did okay with this year's Booktubeathon, and it has spurred me to look into doing some more readathons, so I'll be looking forward to that one, and I'll be doing a video on that hopefully very soon for you. So that's it for this year's Booktubeathon. I hope everyone did really well, even though I know I did mine a month later than everyone. I say well wishes to everyone who did it as well this year. And until next year, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Cool story, I actually had my hair also crimped up from last year's wrap-up video, so there you go. History repeats itself. Woo! The next book, The Maze Runners by James what are the creatures called? I've already forgotten. And this one was This book is so awkward to talk about. I don't know how to say this carefully. It wasn't too hard on that, so that's good. Hard on. No!